Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Kakegurui XX, or Season 2 if you prefer, Episode 5. So yeah, we need to talk about this. So as you know, last week, we didn't react to Kakegurui because the episode was late. It was, due to some celebration going on in Japan, I guess, it was postponed for a time, and due to that, it didn't come out until Thursday. As of recording this, it's a little after 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and Episode 6 has not come out. Episode 6 is supposed to be this week's episode. And the timer on Kiss Anime is saying that it won't be out until, like, 4 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, I can't wait that long to record. So, we're just going to be behind, basically, a week. We're going to do Episode 5, last week's episode, today. Next week, we'll do Episode 6. And if next week the episode comes out on time, then we'll get to 2 episodes next week. But that's only if it comes out on time. I do apologize for this, but there's really nothing I can do. It's not my fault. It's the release. And it's upload onto to the website and everything. So, yeah. There is that. But, all in all, I'm really enjoying this series. Where we left off, we did our second game, which was the card-based game. We did that with those 2 members of the Bami clan, the Momobami clan, who had poisoned Yumiko. They had poisoned Yumiko and were basically anteing up the antidote as part of the game. And so we had both our main character, whose name I can never remember his name. Our main male character, I should say, and Mary competing to try and help Yumiko. And Mary won by realizing what kind of shuffle the neutral party was doing by hosting the game and everything. The neutral party, part of the one organization in the school who, like, keeps everything neutral. I don't remember what they're called. It's been 2 weeks, okay? But yeah, the one girl, the cute little girl in the hoodie and everything was shuffling, and Mary noticed what kind of shuffle it was. So, she could tell what kind of draws were coming, especially just by knowing our main male character's hand. She knew all of the draws. And so, she knew what the opponents had and knew exactly how to play. And Yumiko had told our main male character, while she was falling ill, to trust Mary, and he did, and it all works out. We also saw the vice president a bit, and there's something going on interestingly there, because the vice president seems very timid and shy and cutesy with the mask off, but very intimidating and creepy with it on. And it's almost kind of like a split personality thing, and I mentioned that last time, too. So that's coming more into play. Mary has a shit ton of vote chips, because she got those from the vice president and all. And she has now actually, I think she declared interest in actually legitimately fighting to try and become president. I think she has legitimately started to show interest in it, which is pretty interesting. I wonder where that's going to go. Now, we also have another person that I talked about last time. I don't remember, I don't remember her name at the moment. But as you remember, I did some research last time in my afterthoughts, and apparently this character, she is a girl, despite her having kind of this, how do you put it? Oh, there's a specific term for it, and it's escaping me. Ambiguous? I guess you could go with that. She has kind of this ambiguous design where it's hard to tell whether she's a guy or girl, which is interesting, and I kind of like that. And I mentioned like I had to actually look it up through like Crunchyroll and stuff to find out, because she's an anime original character. She's not from the manga, but she was created by the manga creator. Um, I don't know what to think of her right now. I still don't. I can't tell if she's a good guy or if she's just pretending and is really the most nefarious of them all. I think that would be really interesting, but it's hard to tell. I think it would be cool if she was just legitimately good, too. Like a really just good member of the Momobami clan. Um, yeah, I can't think of her name for the life of me. But you know who I'm talking about if you've been watching these, and if you haven't been watching my past reactions, it's like, why are you on this one? um, but yeah, it's just, I have high hopes for her character, and she's probably the most interesting character to me right now. Not that I don't like the others, especially obviously our main characters, but she's definitely the most interesting to me at the moment. And speaking of our main characters, Yumiko being from a branch family of the Momobami clan, we are starting to learn more about her as a character in this season. So I'm really hoping that we continue that as well. Either way, I am excited to get to this. I have to get to this. I have to get to One Piece today, and I want to try to get to some of the stuff for the weekend as well. Plus, I also have to upload today's Let's Play video for Chrono Trigger. So, yeah, there is that too. In the meantime, we're going to get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, shit, that ending came up quick. No, seriously, I really did not expect that to come up so quickly. But, so we have our next, I guess 2 episodes to go through, go through this one, match, this one gamble, which is kind of how they've been doing it. Every 2 episodes there's a different gamble going on. So this time we have this big Hollywood actress, I think her name was Nawaru or something like that. Big Hollywood actress who's secretly a member of the Momobami clan. And she was the creepy girl too, which kind of sucks. It kind of sucks because I wanted the creepy girl to just be a creepy girl. I wanted her to be like some kind of really freaky character who's like really quiet or silent even. Really freaking unnerving. Did this gamble that was extremely again unnerving and creepy. But no, she ends up. It was just kind of this disguise thing going on. So she challenges Yumiko to a match, but Mimimite, I hope I'm saying that right. She decides she's going to get in on it too. So the Naoru agrees only if it's a 2-on-1. Her versus Yumiko and Mimimite. And so they agree, and they're going to do a 3-part performance arts contest, which is a really cool idea. It's very reminiscent of Yumiko's match against Mimimite in Season 1. Except this time it obviously has higher stakes, and it's a bit of a different kind of scenario with it all. So we see that it's separated into 3 parts. The first part is chosen by Yumiko and Mimimite. The second part is chosen by Naoru. And the third part is chosen by the election committee, the neutral committee. It keeps it nice and fair and allows for a true chance. And here's the funny thing. We see in this episode that Naru wins the challenge set forth by our heroes. I mean, I guess you could call them our heroes. While we see that the next game is Naru's choice. Are our heroes going to win that one? So it's like they each win each other's game? I think that would be fun and interesting. So this first one was basically a singing contest. And we had Yumiko and Mimimite doing this, just this pop idol performance, which of course they're both great at, as we've seen again in season 1. And so it's not a surprise they do pretty well. But then Naru comes out, and although she doesn't have any big performance to it, she kind of gives this stripped down, gorgeous rendition of Amazing Grace, which is like the singer who was doing this was absolutely gorgeous. It was a really, really beautiful rendition. But I was noting how, in the reaction, I was noting how her performance was just kind of her standing there and singing. She wasn't, like, dancing around or anything like like her opponents were. But if this was just a singing contest, then honestly, yeah, she did have she had it over the other two. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, Mimimite bribed 80% of the audience to vote for her and Yumiko. However, in the end, they only got 8 votes. Not 80, they only got 8 to the 92 votes that Naru got. And that's pretty interesting, because we see that it's kind of implied Naru might have bribed them back and bribed them with much more. And because here's the thing, Mimimite is a pop idol and presumably a very famous one, but Naru's a Hollywood actress, and it's kind of this more appealing thing. If she were to bribe them, they would probably go for her more, even if the amount ended up being the same, just because she's a Hollywood actress. Either way, she did end up taking the victory. Now, we don't know what the next game is going to be. It didn't state it at the end of this, but it is the one chosen by Naru. So here's the question: I assume our heroes are going to have to win it, because knowing this show, it has to come down to the final one. And I assume this is a best out of 3. So if Naru wins the next one, she just wins, which means Yumiko and Mimimite would be out. But here's the thing: no matter whether Mimimite is in or out, Yumiko, we know she cannot get out. She's our main character, and there's no way we're going to have her lose and get out of this election this quickly. If she does get out of this election, if she does end up losing and not winning it, which is actually possible, it's not going to happen this early into the season. It's going to happen much later on, closer to the end. And honestly, I think it would probably make more sense if it came down to her and Mary was the one to defeat her. In fact, I think that would actually be a really fantastic idea. Especially since we know Mary does want to win at this point. And I think it would just be kind of like this good reversal, since early into Season 1, Yumiko defeated Mary. So having Mary defeat Yumiko here would actually be a really good move, I think. But either way, so I think that our heroes, that Yumiko and Mimimite, they're going to win the second competition. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It is being chosen by Naru, but I think they're going to win that. And then, of course, it's going to come down to the final one, which is chosen neutrally by the leader of the election committee, whose name I can never remember. All I know her for is her hoodie and everything. But yeah, It's going to come down to that. Now, we did have a couple other things to note in this episode. First off, we saw that the president had been gambling against the pretty boy, whose name I cannot remember, but is also in the top 10 currently of the election rankings. Yeah. He's in the top 10 as well, and he was gambling against the president, Karari. And Karari was kind of doing this little game. She was going all in every time, kind of bluffing, like legitimately bluffing, and forcing, because she had so many more chips than anyone else, she had the most chips of anyone in this election so far. She was forcing her opponents to keep, just folding. So he realizes this, and it's like, oh, you want someone to actually challenge this. And he's calling her out on it, and she's getting excited, and he's like, no, I'm out. You have fun with this. I'm not playing your game. And she looked so surprised, and it was wonderful. It was actually a really good moment. I liked that. And we also saw the vice president. Apparently, she's been following Mary around like a lapdog, which is hilarious and adorable. Especially since the vice president herself is hilarious and adorable. Seriously, she is so fucking cute. I'm not even kidding you right now. She is so fucking cute. And her reasoning is that she believes she and Mary are still partners and everything due to their agreement, but Mary's like, no, I'm not going to be partners with you. You put Yumiko in danger, which continues to show that Mary does truly care about Yumiko and keeps the ship alive for those who ship that. But in all seriousness, she tells the vice president that, you know what, I'm going to make you gamble. I am going to force you into a gamble. If you win, we'll be partners. And that's that. And the vice president didn't deny it, so I assume that's going to happen. That's probably going to be the next gamble after this current one. So it's probably going to be in episodes 7 and 8. But yeah, so far this has been really, really interesting. And it's also fair to note that second place in the current rankings is kind of what you would call the leader of the Momobami clan. The one who's kind of trying to take the spot of president more than anyone else. The one who hates Karari. The one in the wheelchair, let's put it like that. I don't want to describe her too much by that, because you never want to. You never want to describe a person by their disability. It's rude, it's insensitive, and just plain terrible. But I mean, yeah, I don't remember her name, so I'm really sorry about this. But yeah, you know who I'm talking about. She's in second place. And again, the rankings in general surprised me, because I thought Mary, with the amount of chips she got from the vice president, was in the lead. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, some of the people who are above her. Like, again, it doesn't surprise me that Mimimite was above her. Because of Mimimite being the pop idol and having all of this influence, having all of her fan club members give her their votes. That does not surprise me at all. And it doesn't really surprise me that the other two above Mary as well are, of course, the president, Karari, and the leader of the clan. It doesn't surprise me that either of them are above it either, because they're kind of the two big ones right now, besides, of course, Yumiko. They're kind of the end game goal, I feel. And of course, everybody's going to be going after Karari, because she's the current president. She's kind of got this massive target on her back. Just like Yumiko does. And of course, there's the other girl who we know is very shrewd and very serious about this. She wants that spot more than anyone, I think. And so she's definitely going to have a lot. She's going to have been very active doing all of this. Now, I think that she's going to be one of the last stepping stones at the end of this season. She's definitely going to be one of the last ones we see compete here. Though we might see her compete against Karari earlier on. But, like, we won't see her compete against, like, Yumiko or anyone until much later. Like I said, though, as for where this current gamble is going with the 3-stage performance arts contest, I think that Yumiko and Mimimite have it. Because I don't think Yumiko's going to lose out this early. I just don't see it happening. Let's be honest, this series, Yumiko is our main character. And she's one of the most lucky and skilled gamblers in the school, of course. So having her lose this early would honestly make no sense. Now, if it's done well, and if they handle it well afterwards, then it could work. But they would really have to handle that well. Now, I don't remember if it's been said, but if you lose all your votes, can you get new ones? Do you just have to, like... Because I know there's those votes, those extra chips that you can put up, you can borrow and everything. Do you just have to borrow those and put those up? And the student council chips and all? You know what I'm talking about. It was used in the last game. Because if you can just do that and maybe get some vote chips again... But I kind of was under the impression that if you run out of vote chips, you're just done. You're out. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I honestly just don't see Yumiko and Mimimite losing this. I just don't. But I'm excited to see where this goes either way. So, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Kakegurui XX. And I do apologize once again for not being able to get to the next episode as well, but it wasn't up, and I just couldn't wait for it any longer. I couldn't wait to try and get it downloaded later. I had to get this recorded, so I do apologize. Hopefully next week's episode will come out on time so I can just get to episodes 6 and 7 together. But obviously, that's not up to me. So yeah, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,